What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Monty. If you don't know me, and my fault, y'all. I am vlogging right now. It's gonna be a day in the life coming soon. I've been vlogging a lot, bro. I just haven't had time to edit, which this is gonna be another vlog I'm gonna have to edit, but it's all good, man. We working, and uh, I just want to talk to y'all about knowing your worth, bro. Knowing your worth, and working this job really made me realize my worth, right? It made me realize it. Have you ever felt like you were stuck? You going through the motions, at your job. And for me, the longest time, and maybe for you, I believed that my 9 to 5 was supposed to get me to where I was supposed to be. My job was supposed to help me get to that point. And over time, I realized that's not it. That's not true. It's not true. Um, you know, I realized something deeper, and my job wasn't defining my worth. I was. Let me explain that. Now, I'm into a lot of things, like, you know, when it comes to being creative. Like, on YouTube, I'm into a lot. Like, I'm into gaming, I'm into music, I'm into just inspiring people, just creating and being an entertainer or getting into entertainment. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot. And um, my 9 to 5 taught me to understand my value when it comes to this. It pushed me to start creating a life that I actually would feel excited about. And I want you to do the same. Start creating a life that you feel good about. Because never have I ever thought that you could make this much money off the internet. Never in my life. No job can ever pay me any money as much as this has. None. None. For as long as I've been working, no job has ever paid me that in a month. Like in a month, I would have had to work 2 jobs to get that amount of money. Literally. And I'm gonna touch on my studio job too in a minute, but for right now, I know a lot of people would say, the YouTube money and internet money isn't gonna last forever. Okay, even if it doesn't, it's all about how you move this money, right? It's about financial literacy, which a lot of people don't have. Um, but it's the fact of the matter that I was even able to touch that. Because it's almost like if you was to ride on a first class flight, right? When you go back to sitting in comfort or economy, you're never gonna want to do that again, bro. You're never gonna want to do that. Once you hit your first class flight, get that first class ticket, you get a taste of that, you're never gonna want to go back. And it's the same thing when it comes to this. Like, now that I done seen it, now that I done touched it, now that I done, I looked at it, I don't want to go back. So why would I stop? You get what I'm saying? And if you're at that point where like you're doing something and you've seen it, why would you stop? Why? Why? It honestly makes no sense, right? And when I first started my job, let me actually stop my vlog. I'm sorry, y'all. Doing this day in the life. I'll edit that later. I got a lot coming for y'all. But when I first started, right, I did it for many reasons. Like I started working this other job for many reasons, just to get out of debt and, stack up money. The goal was to just stack because I know I wanted a new car. I know I wanted to fund my business, right? I know I wanted to go full time with YouTube, right? And I get how comfortability can grip you. I know how it is. I know that, you know, that stability when it comes to making money um can hold you. It's a predictable path, a predictable routine that you in. Especially when it brings regular money coming in every week or every 2 weeks, For me, after a while though, I started to notice that something strange was going on with me in this job, right? I had fell into this rhythm of that. And yes, it was comfortability, but it wasn't fulfilling. It still isn't to this day. Like I gotta go with a few. And every day does feel the same, you know. The only difference is now I'm on this grind of YouTube to get out of here. And it's rough. I started questioning if this was really all there was. Then this happened, you know, and it brought me back, and it's like, bro, maybe this job again, because I've said this before, is just a stepping stone for you to get to where you need to be, um, money wise, financially wise, and it's there to not such be a comfort, but it was there to make you realize a couple of things. And I did, because comfort is a trap. Comfort is something that everybody's used to, the routine. You stop pushing yourself, obviously. You start playing it safe and stand where it's comfortable, even if it doesn't make you happy. That's what this job made me realize as I work. And it's true. Comfort to keep you stuck somewhere that won't make you happy. It'll keep you somewhere just because of the check. And for me now, I'm at a point where I'm like, just go all in, bro. I really have nothing to lose because I think if you have a cushion, right? You got an emergency fund, which I do. You got money put up, which I do. You know, you're already in the right direction when it comes to this. You know, there is going to be ups and downs when it comes to this, but you're grinding. That's what happens when you take risk, you know. Um, but you want to make sure before you do that, you got all your things in order, bills is paid, and like I said before, you got money put up. And I feel like you need at least 6 months, not 3 to 4. I say 6 to 8. That's half a year. Now, if you can grind for a year, what makes you think if you couldn't stack up 6 months and you couldn't just grind for half a year? I don't know. That's just me though. Um, Over time working, I just realized that I was trading my potential for comfort and a check. And I still feel like I am. But that's why I'm at this crossroad where it's like I'm ready to take this off and make my new hat be a creator, you know? this has opened up so many doors. I'm able to travel. I just got off a vacation that from recording, and it didn't even feel like a vacation. I felt like it was a break, and I was still recording. Like I was able to travel off YouTube. What? Like that's insane, bro. That's insane. I didn't know you could even do stuff like that. It's different when you see somebody doing it versus when you doing it yourself. Like it's a whole different vibe. And the reality of it didn't hit me, and I didn't start noticing things I've been ignoring, like opportunities like this. Um, you know, the limited appreciation that I already got at work, it's not adding up. The feeling of being replaceable is it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. You know, you put in hours, you put in overtime, um, and it's almost like if you slip up even once, or you get a boss like mine where they go the extra mile with things, bro. That's all it takes for it to be over. And there was this one day in particular where I was done, bro. Just over it, you know? Just exhausted and just out of it, honestly. I've been putting in all that hard work, you know, not realizing what was going on behind the scenes, but it's just now that I sit back and think about it, I'm just like, wow, bro. But you put in hard work, you know, beating times or whatever, thinking you actually putting in work whole time, thinking you making a difference, which is not happening. But you get reviewed and then things go left, right? You go through a situation like mine. It's tough. That was the moment I realized that my value wasn't tied into how hard I worked. It was tied into someone else's dream. It was tied into someone else's, you know, time. And my worth wasn't in how many hours I clocked in, bro. It wasn't in how many days I worked. It wasn't in none of that. It was time to start valuing myself. And I started doing that while working. And I didn't wait for nobody. You can't wait for nobody to do it for you. You can't wait for nobody to pick you up, 'cause nobody's coming. That ain't happening. You got to figure out a way. You have to make opportunities for yourself. And I want you to value yourself a lot more than what you're doing, because it's not even just about the money or anything when it comes to YouTube, but the fact that you can even do these things, like you can see that happening. Excuse me, y'all, something in my eye. But the fact that you could see it, touch it, is possible. All of this is possible. I feel like that with anything. Like if it's a car that you want, if you can see it, feel it, touch it, it's achievable. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's how I feel when it comes to this. No matter what it is, it could be YouTube, it could be you wanting to touch 50,000, save 50,000. It don't matter, bro. It don't matter at all. realizing your worth and realizing my worth doesn't mean you have to quit your job or nothing. It doesn't mean you have to do any of that. Instead, if you had this mind shift where you start beginning to view things different, and I mean viewing everything different. I mean, I started to view my job as a stepping stone. And I probably said this before, and not the end game. It's not some end all game. That's not what this is, bro. Right? I started asking myself while working, what am I passionate about? What have I always wanted to pursue but never had the time to do it? It was a wake up call to figure out what would make me feel fulfilled even outside of work. And, the blessing came. Now I'm able to just record, inspire other people, and I'm doing it off of a broken phone. Like it, I don't even have no words for it, honestly, because I wasn't expecting none of that at all. Um, I just realized that I could use my job as a tool to support my bigger goals. So when I started to view it into that light, instead of seeing it as something that held me back. And it took it's so hard not to think like that, especially when you go through something like I did. It's hard to think like that. But you have to. I looked at it as a way to fund my dreams instead of thinking the old way, you know, knocking me out of my money right now. Now next year or the end of this month, we can go forward. I'm not saying that everyone should quit their job, but sometimes you need to find your why in some of these things. And I think for me, my why is finally done. My why I'm here is because I just wanted more money and to become debt free. But now it's to a point where there's no debt, there's no reason for me to be here. Besides me having comfort. With working, it's every week. You get paid. With YouTube, it's once a month, right? And you got to put the work in to see the same amount that you want to see as if you was working. And I know this. Is it scary? Hell yeah, bro. It is scary. But when you got a game plan on how you going to go get it, I think you're going to be all right. I think you're going to be all right. It's all about really you get in what you put in, bro. You put in mediocre work, you're going to get mediocre results. Simple as that, you know. Especially when it comes to what I'm doing, like I'm on YouTube. You put in mediocre work, you're going to see mediocre results. Simple as that. And you can apply that to anything that you're doing. It don't even just got to be YouTube or what I'm doing or me selling a product like I'm doing. It doesn't have to be that. It can apply to anything. So I say all this to say this. Once I changed my mindset, I started taking small steps toward my own goals. I no longer looked at it as the same way as I used to look at it. You know, I took, side projects, took internships like with the music thing and invested in learning new skills like editing. I didn't know how to edit, bro. you know, uh, looking at specs for cameras. Like I didn't know all these things, bro. I began treating my job as part of as part of my life right now, right? Not my entire identity when it comes to this. I started seeing it as a way to leverage, right? And it took planning, it took discipline, it took a lot of late nights, but each step that I was taking, it just felt closer to taking control of my life. I was gaining confidence, proving to myself that I was capable of more, you know? And you gonna be your worst critic and worst competition, bro. If not worse, you're gonna be your best competition and best critic, actually. Um, it's all about taking them steps, man. Um, Looking back on how the change happened while I'm still doing it, I'm grateful because it taught me to value myself. Without it, I might still be searching, you know, for I don't know. I don't know. I know some people search for validation of others. I've said that too. But today, I know my worth and I have set my own path when it comes to life, you know, and you have to do the same thing too. I'm creating a life that I've always dreamed of. I have goals that I'm passionate about, and my worth isn't defined by a job or by someone else's opinion. And I feel like a lot of people need to find their value again because they're getting lost into the mist. And I don't want that to be you. So, I don't know. I just wanted to talk to y'all right quick and give some people some motivation because I know how hard it is to try to find that type of um, mindset again. I know how hard it is to even try to think like that. So I just don't want nobody to feel trapped or undervalued. And if you do feel like that, you have so much more to offer, bro. And just clocking in and out, you need to find something that excites you, is what I'm saying. I understand this is what you got to do right now, but start changing your mindset and looking at it like this not a forever thing. You know, this not forever, bro. This just so you could um, find something that gives you purpose and, you know, use the job as a tool to build that life. You know, I know so many people that used, and you can take me for example, bro. I used the money to start buying equipment. Like I started buying studio equipment. Now with YouTube, I'm a full-time engineer from my house, like at home. Who does that? And I told y'all a couple months ago, what was that last month? I applied for a full-time position as an engineer. Didn't get it. But then my channel got monetized. Now I could go home on the weekends, post beats to the channel. Now I have a new website that I'm gonna post a link down here in case you need to buy beats or anything. But for all my artists out there. But now I can